Hi, I'm in Horndean today. I'm with Jamie Kemp, who is a chocolatier, which I'm so excited about eating chocolates for breakfast. That's just amazing. So explain, how did you end up on this journey?
It started around 4.5 years ago, all coming up to 5 now actually, where I kind of got really fascinated by chocolate, but more so how it's grown and dried and fermented and roasted, and so the actual origin of it, I got really interested in that side of it. So yeah, around 5 years ago,
So you were quite young then. How old were you when you first started then?
20, was it 21? I think so.
Right.
Um, Yeah, I must have been 21. So when I went off to Costa Rica, so I decided I wanted to learn exactly how chocolate's grown. So I found a little village in Costa Rica, and a little farming village that grew cacao to make chocolate. And I lived with that family for 2.5 months.
Oh, how
Um,
wonderful.
and yeah, just learned exactly how a very small batch chocolate was made. And they're just a family farm going for 3 generations, and it was incredible. You know, a village that has 150 people. It was a minefield to try and get to. I had no idea. I sort of got on a few buses and managed to get there in the end, speaking very little Spanish. And somehow I got there, and yeah, it was an amazing experience, and really kind of opened my eyes up to the world of fine chocolate. So a new world of chocolate that I've never tasted before.
And are you still in contact with those people now?
Yeah,
Do you
absolutely.
still?
So we still message a lot, and I still use their cocoa beans in a few of my products.
Hmm.
It's very very rare. They don't export to anyone in the world really, because it's just a family farm in a little village. So I'm very privileged that, and I've actually got some today,
Oh, have you?
which is
What have you got there today?
I've got the Madagascar single plantation, and
So
then
you've made this. This is
so this one's
you've.
my bean to bar here. So I've made this bean to bar. This one's been
Okay.
produced in Madagascar. This one is from the beans from that farm, Lagwan Chocolate Farm. So
All
it's super
right.
rare. You cannot get it anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
So if you want
Yeah.
a taste,
I'm privileged then to have a little piece of this then.
absolutely, yeah,
And is it a lot different to what you'd buy in the?
absolutely. So fine chocolate's a whole new world of chocolate, and the reason why I say that is there's just far more flavour and dynamic to it. So we should be putting it on our tongue and letting it melt. So as chocolate
Jill's
melts.
being a pig and just swallowing it
I heard that crunch. I just crunched it.
Are you not supposed to crunch them?
Yeah, just let it melt, let it kind of gently melt, because when with chocolate, is when it reaches different temperatures and stages, different flavours come through.
Hmm.
With this particular one, you've got very strong, earthy, almost like a mushroomy taste to it, which is natural to the cacao.
Yeah.
Very chocolatey as well.
It is very rich. It's very, yeah,
This
it's
is
really
72%.
nice.
There's no vanilla in it,
Okay.
and there's no sawdust or anything like that. So the reason why vanilla is often added to confectionery chocolate, what we buy in supermarkets, is it's a neutraliser of flavour. It neutralises burnt and unroasted beans or unfermented. It kind of does that, so it kind of levels out the flavour.
Okay.
So what you get is that same consistent flavour, but you don't get those lovely kind of very powerful notes that you're getting with that chocolate.
Yeah.
Because
It tastes a bit orangey actually. It's sort of.
yeah, that's how I'm going to join in with you there. So there's nothing else with it. It's just the cocoa beans and cane sugar. That's all those natural flavours that you're tasting there.
So how do you go about this process then?
In terms of bean to bar,
Yeah.
so bean to bar, you start off with the cocoa beans. So the actual the tree itself, they grow cocoa pods. We may have seen it in pictures now. It's going to become a bit more.
Try really hard not to crunch.
Oh no, I'm trying to talk. I'm guilty as well. So yeah, you get cocoa pods, and it could be multiple different colours: yellow, orange, green. There's different varieties. I won't go into too much detail about variety. Within that pod, you've got around 40 cocoa beans, and each cocoa bean is wrapped in called like a white pulp, sort of fleshy, and you can actually eat it like that. Picture that. And you can actually eat it like that, and then you need to ferment the cocoa beans to basically so the bacteria and yeast in the cocoa beans that need to basically work with the cocoa beans.
Okay.
This then you need to dry afterwards in the sun. We'll try and keep it very simple, but that's effectively what it is. Normally a few days, 3 to 4 days, it depends really on the environment. And then we start roasting, and that could be sort of an oven roast for around sort of 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So the idea of it is it brings out those natural flavours as well when you're roasting, and it brings out all sorts of chocolate notes and citrus notes and berry notes.
So the longer it roasts, would the taste change?
Not necessarily. No, different chocolate makers roast at different periods of time, different temperatures. It's normally around 120, 130 degrees Celsius. But it helps to develop flavours that way. But each section has an important part to play. So the fermentation, the drying, the roasting, and then we get to conching. And conching is basically, put simply, stone, almost wheels turning around and refining those cocoa beans and refining the nibs to make it into very small particles. So it's crushing and refining to make chocolate. And that's what actually makes that. So the chocolate's basically been broken down into several different particles.
Because this tastes very different to what I'd buy in the high street.
Absolutely, yeah.
So different.
It's a totally different type of chocolate, different market.
It's really delicious. It's still rich and creamy.
Yeah. So the idea is less is more. So you don't need much of that, do you, at all? Not like you get in the supermarket where you get a bar of chocolate and suddenly it's gone.
Yeah.
And this, you kind of just need a little bit. And that's because...
It's great for dieters, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you only need a little bit and your chocolate hit that's it.
It's gone.
It's gone. And that's the thing, it's whether you're craving sugar or chocolate. Often we find we're actually craving sugar sometimes, and then we eat a whole bar of chocolate. But actually, if you're craving chocolate, you only need a little bit. So yeah, it's a totally different world of chocolate, and it's getting more and more awareness, but it's still, we're surrounded by a lot of confectionery chocolate that is nowhere.
So is this, health-wise, is this better for you?
Well, I mean, if you're having less of it, technically yes, it's better because you're having less sugar in your
diet. The sugar content is still high on it?
It's 72%, so 28% of it is sugar.
Right.
Effectively. Which sometimes makes me laugh when people go, they go, oh, I always go for 85%, but I've eaten a whole bar. It's like, well, then you've actually got the sugar. Maybe just work out actually how much sugar you've just eaten there. Yeah. So you can have a little bit, and you can work out your sugar intake from that way. So yeah, it's full of fibres and antioxidants and things like that. So there's a lot of benefits of chocolate anyway. And it's just understanding having less is more. So yeah, a little bit of dark chocolate each day, definitely.
So do you make the chocolates as in like the truffles, the sort of fancy, you make those as well?
Yeah, so that's kind of what the business is known for, is the triple truffle.
Oh, okay.
So it
sounds delicious. Yeah, triple truffle.
It's 3 layers. So
wow.
The most popular one is salted caramel. So you've got a salted caramel centre core. It's wrapped in a Costa Rican ganache.
Okay.
A ganache is basically cream and chocolate. Effectively.
I've watched the cookery programme, so I know what a ganache is.
There we are, excellent. And then it's wrapped in more chocolate, so it's got a really thin, crisp shell to it, so like that. So you bite into it, so it's got 3 layers. So that's what we're known for, really.
Wow.
Triple truffle.
All right.
Yeah.
So where are these chocolates on sale? Where can you buy them from?
So the best place really is the website, it's the online shop. So jkfinechocolates.co.uk. And that's where we stock everything on there.
Yeah.
But if you want to try the Madagascar
one.
So this is the Madagascar one, so this would be great to compare. So
I'm not allowed to crunch again, I've got to...
But yeah, we'll try that, man. It's just you might have to skip this part of the podcast. So
what are the differences between that one and that one?
So this is a 70% Madagascar, and what's beautiful about this one is single plantation. So it's from the plantations I visited 2 years ago. So 2 years ago I went to Madagascar, again to visit the farmers and suppliers out there. And this is on the east coast, and it's near Vihibini, and we went along the river there as well, Raniala. And the plantations along there are a little bit different to the north. So that's the kind of, most of the plantations you'll find is in the north of Madagascar.
Right.
This is in the east coast of Madagascar. So even within the country, there's different flavours from the different.
And this is totally different.
So
I think I prefer this one.
Yeah. A bit more.
I'm not really sure why.
A bit more berry notes to it, a bit more citrus, a bit more nutty almond sort of notes like that. So the difference in origin.
I think a bit more of what I'm used to. I don't know, it tastes more...
Yeah, a bit more familiar. So yeah, that was quite... The Costa Rica is quite bold. There's a lot of darker, richer notes with that one. As I say, sort of almost like mushroomy. This Madagascar one is a bit more berry notes to it, almonds, a bit of caramel at the end as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's delicious. Well, this is like, this is heaven, isn't it? Tasting chocolate, wow. I don't really drink wine, so I don't really enjoy wine tasting, but chocolate tasting.
It's got the same sort of, in terms of flavour notes that you can find in wine, you know, it's that in depth. So it's around 130 odd different flavour notes in chocolate.
So are you part of it must be a whole industry in itself, isn't it, being a chocolatier? You must meet others and other...
Yeah, I've got some really good friends in chocolate. We're chocolate makers or chocolatiers or chocolate bloggers. It's actually a community. It's a really nice community because we all got the same passion. We all just love fine chocolate.
So you all help one another.
Yes.
That's really good, isn't it? Because I guess you're both all in business doing the same.
Yeah. Technically, often they're all competitors, or some of them are. But actually, we're all supporting each other. We all do our own thing. We've all got our own sort of passions, and and that's what's amazing in business. Actually, your most supported network is possibly actually your biggest competitors.
Yeah. Because you also work for Radian and help small businesses like myself.
Yeah, I love that as well. That's brilliant. You get a real kick out of that, just supporting people, because I know.
Because you've been on the journey, haven't you?
Yeah, still on the journey. Still trying to work it out myself. I've learned a lot, and I wouldn't have learned so much if I just didn't do it. Just didn't get on and do it.
I think that is the thing, isn't it? If you have something you want to do, you've just got to take the jump, haven't you? And it's quite scary, isn't it? That jump.
Horrendously scary, yeah, definitely. Can't hide that. It's really scary, but I'd rather not look back and say, I wish I gave that a go. Actually, no, it's you're just glad you're giving it a go, and just have to go for it.
So what are your plans ahead then? What are your goals?
So coming up with possible collaboration and a unit space near Petersfield, and that's actually working with a couple of businesses, one around studio and making some vlogs for in terms of around chocolatier. And also sort of any sort of cooking demonstrations, things like that. So there's sort of collaboration that's possibly coming up. Because I really enjoy that side of things as well. And also it's working more with businesses closely. So in terms of helping them branding wise with their businesses, but through the world of chocolate, and how we can incorporate and get their brand out there into the market, but with fine chocolate as well. So it's definitely a lot more collaboration.
I think what I really like about you is that you do your business advice as well with Radian, but it's real advice because you are actually doing it. Because sometimes you can meet people who will offer advice but they don't really understand because they've not actually been there.
Yeah.
And you've actually